Welcome back to another episode of Bite Sized. In this tutorial we're going to show off how simply we can change our splash screen for our projects if we want to have a specific feel to them while we're starting up. In this case I have chosen a banner simply for my own channel, so this is what it looks like. It has the dimensions of 800 times 800. Yeah, so that will be the purpose and goal for this video. So setting this up is a fairly straightforward ordeal. In my case, I'm on Unreal Engine 5.2. It will be pretty much identical or very close to regardless of what engine that you're making use of. In my case here, I have in my content folder loaded in a image that I'm going to be using. In this case, it is a PNG of the dimensions 800 times 800. The size of the image is of course going to dictate how much screen space it takes up when you start up the project. Other than that, the dimensions don't really matter. Going to edit and project settings, we can actually go and change our image, and you don't need to load in your image into the project like I did. I'll show in a moment why. I just did it for convenience sake. But when you're in the preferences here in the settings, you need to go to platforms, and then you need to select whichever platform you're making use of. In my case, that is Windows. So if I click on Windows here, you can see that we have a splash section. We have an editor splash and a game splash. So they will be changing your editor and game splash screen respectively. These ones are the ones that you change if you want to have this specific project reflected by a different loading screen. So if I go in here and press the three dots, I can choose my image and make use of that for my project here. The supported file formats are PNG, JPEG and bitmap. In my case, I have a PNG, so that's fine. So I just double click that and I have my new image here. It will ask you sometimes to import depending on what kind of settings you have here. So you want to say import if it prompts you about that. If you want to change your setting for a splash screen for a whole engine version like 5.2, you can just go to this default directory that we see here. It will be different on different computers obviously, but you go to where that file is and you change that one. And it will be reflected on all the projects in that version. Unless you have, of course, one set up for this specific project, and the project specific one will supersede the engine version specific one. Once you have chosen an editor splash screen like this, you can see if you go to the content browser that you now have a splash folder. And inside of the splash folder, we now have the image that we chose, which is why you don't really need to put it in the project like I did. Again, that's just for my own convenience. So if I now go to my folder and say that I want to start up this project again, I can shut this down first. Then we'll see that I get the loading screen that I chose earlier. So that's all you need to do to create a splash loading screen startup for your project. It's going to be all for now. Keep on learning. Take care. A big thank you to all of you who like, comment, subscribe and share my videos, or through other means support this channel. You are what makes this channel grow and become a resource for other people to learn from.